You're listening to BoomBox Weekly.
What's up? We are back with another episode of BoomBox Weekly, and this week we have shoe designer, filmmaker, actor Zac Carson in the building with us.
Yes, sir.
Thanks
Yes,
for having
sir.
me.
Yes.
Appreciate y'all.
Good to see you, bro, man.
Nice
Thank
to
you
see
for coming
too.
through. You know what I'm
Appreciate y'all
saying?
too. Thanks for having me. Thanks for
Yes,
having me.
yes. Thank you for
this.
coming through.
Dope talent, man.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
we all do a little bit of everything. You just gotta find, our segue into what we meant to do. You know, we got talents, but that gift always hit.
Right. And talking about your segue, how did you learn your craft?
So I started real young. I was like mad dyslexic. Never got like, I guess you said clinically, how do you call it, you guys? Diagnosed.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't know how to read or write. Not well. Not even close to my grade level until them Harry Potter books came out. Because I was all like, oh wait, the movies is coming out quicker, and everybody's giving away all the, with the spoilers. Mm-hmm. So, but up until that point, from like 7 on, I would watch the Oscars. I would watch all these great films like Gone with the Wind, from New Chinatown to Color Purple, Ghost, and I would just study them. But not like you do as an average viewer, but just like the lighting, the direction, the acting, you know what I mean? Just the storytelling, the whole storytelling package as a whole. So I knew really young, I was like, oh yeah, I want to be part of filmmaking, specifically. TV's cool too, but I want to be part of production.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite actor?
Woo, man, that's tough.
Sounds like you have a few.
I have to have a few. I mean, when you watch so many movies, different genres, it's like I just love every actor who knows themselves and are the best at what they do, whatever role they're given, to portray. It's like they're just like Viola Davis. She's the best at what she does. She can do it all. Meryl Streep's the best at what Johnny Depp is the best at what he can do. But if I had to pick one, like gun to the head, pick an actor right now, I have to say Denzel.
Denzel, okay, yes. Denzel's a legend for sure.
Baby.
So Denzel is your favorite actor, and I know you acted in the ABC series Stomptown.
Yeah, I did this Stomptown. That kind of just fell on my lap, but it was cool.
Okay, so tell us about that. Tell us how it fell in your lap.
Yeah, so I was just, I used to dance, but not like what you would think, but similarly to what you would think. So, and I thought out there, not like strip per se, but kind of strip per se, but it was these entertainment parties where we go out, and it's usually like 2 or 3 of us guys, very Magic Mikey or whatever. And, yeah, it just, the guy who puts on the dances, or the company who owns the company, was like, yo, they need a dancer, and it may be some lines. So, but unfortunately, all my lines got cut, and I wasn't able to do as much, because they wanted to give everybody love. That's what I loved about those directors and producers. They honestly was like, everybody had like a role. Everybody was part of the complete story package, like I said earlier.
Good.
But I have tattoos, and ABC really trips on that. And specifically, I have God. Fear God, and it's the God part. They were like, yeah, and I had to have my shirt off clearly, so it just cut a lot of my TV time. But I was like, it's cool. I don't regret nothing.
Yeah, because there's always more to come.
With AI tools, man, you great at what you do. Someone gonna get rid of that.
Yeah, I know for
It's a learning experience too. You never miss any opportunities.
Yeah.
You get what's meant for you.
That's exactly right.
So I know it was a blessing going through that. Do you have a dream role that you wish to play?
Yeah, honestly, I have a couple of dream roles. Being someone who is multiracial, like I definitely want to hone in on that. I feel like the '90s was a different time when you were mixed compared to now. Everyone's becoming mixed. Like I don't know if it's a good thing, bad thing, but we just see it. Specifically with a black mix. Obviously, we the best. No. But I could see myself portraying like a multi-ethnic role, showing like, I do a lot of my own writing, so like I know these characters because I am these characters. I have been, throughout my life and my journeys and my own character development. But I can see that. I don't know. I want to do some LA roles, some LA characters. I've been here in LA 9 years now. 9 years this week. So shout out.
Okay, well, happy Caliversary.
Yeah. Actually, California, motherfucker, for cutting you off. I've been here for 12 years.
Okay. Oh,
so right after Vegas, I just jumped out over here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, actor, filmmaker. I know you spoke to me about, you have like 25 screenplays that you've already written so far?
Yes. So never pitched none besides one, but I think the timing was bad. But yeah, I was a school teacher, so I wanted to shout out and do something for my, children. So I do have an animated script. I have a live action, something I want to pitch to Disney.
Yeah.
I love Beauty and the Beast. I have like this rose right here. So I want to pitch like how the evolution of the rose, how it got to the beast, called the Enchanted Rose. So about the enchantress. So, and
That would be a nice spinoff.
Yeah, I think so too. Kind of how what they did to Snow White and the Huntsman, and that screenwriter, that was his first script ever, and it was a spec script, just an ideal, obviously, right? And he pitched it, and it still holds, I believe, the record for highest paid or bought spec script at $1 million.
Wow.
For Universal.
So think about what a spinoff would do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And then that would open the door for me to do my own original ideas, go down the indie route. That's where I see myself for sure.
That's dope that you're creating your own stuff and you're basically controlling your own narrative here. What's your favorite genre?
Oh, man. I love sci-fi. I don't have as many sci-fi scripts. I just feel like, you know, maybe I'm cutting myself short. Maybe, you know, as I get through there, you know, get through life and I get more courage to actually do that. But just sci-fi, like from the Harry Potters, the Lord of the Rings, Percy Jackson, I just find it very fascinating that you could make a complete world that is so fictionalized. But if you, Games of Thrones, House of the Dragon, you know, it's like you could really just make people believe that this is real. You know what I mean?
No, facts, facts. So also, not only are you doing all those things, but you're in first place right now in a shoe designing competition with the Surgeon. And the Surgeon out here is popping.
He is.
Yes, if y'all don't know, look up the Surgeon. And he's in first place for shoe designing. They be customizing shoes for like the top artists. Like throughout like international country. They come all the way to LA, pick out their shoes.
Jeff Goldberg, he's part of it too, so it'd be really nice. I don't know if I'll get to meet him, but
you never know.
Yeah, and it's a $10,000 prize, cash prize, and it's actually a $35,000 shoemaking deal to make that shoe. So that's how much it costs altogether to get the surgeon and the materials and just, you know, all the logistics behind. So, you know, it's about close to $50,000 a prize, you know what I mean, awards. So.
Yeah, so take us through how you got into competition and like what it all endures.
So pretty much I follow Supreme sneakers. I follow the Surgeon, you know, and I seen them post it and I was like, man, let me just put myself out there. Just like I was saying, my scripts, I don't really pitch myself. I just been here so long.
Hey, you need to, I know you want to gatekeep a little bit, but just put it out. Yeah. Because you never know, like right now is the time to put your stuff out.
Yeah,
it is. Created it.
Yeah, exactly. It's there. I think I get so caught up on the visionary part. Like we live in a visual age where you can pitch a great idea, you can have an amazing script, but if you don't got the visuals, you're not filming it yourself, like the Issa Raes, the Quinta B's, like you got to get out there and film it. That's what I'm learning. But back to the shoe, yeah, and they pretty much just picked me to be one of the top candidates in my group. I think I would like to think that because I went to the other groups, I'm like, okay, I can see what they did here. You know what I mean? Like they already probably a little premeditated. They have you know, an idea of the candidate or the winner that they will want. I mean, I feel like that's everything. American Idol, The Voice, you know, all those competition shows. So I'm not mad at that. And then yeah, I just been having my family vote. You could vote daily for free 2 times, and then all the proceeds, if you do paid voting, goes to Oceana. So save the whales, save the ocean. So you know that's pretty dope. And yeah, last day of voting is going to be December 28th.
December 28th.
December 28th.
Make sure you go and vote.
Yeah, please do.
Zac Carson.
Yeah.
December 28th. Make sure y'all go and vote for my man.
Yes.
Let's go do this.
Sounds like you got a good purpose behind you. You know what I'm saying? And you're multifaceted. Aside from the shoe designing, first of all, hold on. Before we go any further, how did you get into shoe designing?
So I've always been a shoe guy. Firstly, let me say something. A shoe fanatic and a sneakerhead or a sneaker fanatic are 2 different things. I don't own every sneaker. I don't think I know everything about every sneaker. But a sneakerhead is someone who usually uses their mind past the average person when it comes to, you know, the curation of an outfit and starting at the base with the foundation, which is a shoe. You know, it's like putting that logical thinking in it, not concrete or abstract. You're just like, wow, like, you know, that the details start there. We walk, we're like, that's our legs, our feet does everything for that. So that's how I visualize. Okay, well, how am I feeling? You know, like I was telling you yesterday with my designs, I want to put on for as many people as possible because I just feel like that's how you gain a genuine audience. They see that you want them to be a part of your journey, your story, you know, your success. So yeah, I was young and I started working construction in the summers. Man, you couldn't get me to change a tire, to do anything. But my uncle, my step uncle, my father's brother, he owns a demolition construction business where you go in and you you tear it down, you get it ready for the contractors to come in. And they was paying me $1,000 a week back in 2005, 2006. So I was like,
money.
Woo!
It was money.
You was good.
That was money. So
in 2005.
Yeah. And I was a pretentious kid. I was a pretentious kid when it came to my shoes. I don't want to be wearing the same sneakers. I don't want to be wearing the same outfits. I was always trying to get best dressed, you know, always. And I got it in my senior superlatives. And you know, I like to think that I evolved from that, but I still have that same type of love of a sneaker. So it started really young, and I remember going in and taking my money, my earnings. Mom was like, I bet you're just gonna get all the Jordans, only get like 5, 6 shoes. I remember y'all copped like 20, 30 pairs of sneakers. Just like different type. I remember like, I mean, you name it. Before New Balances was in, I found some that I liked. You know, I was just trying to be smart with my money at a young age and, you know, optimize my outfits and my looks.
Would you ever have your own shoe store?
I would love to have my own shoe store. That would be something that I want to do, but I have other ventures I want to do before that. I see myself more so designing other people's sneakers, you know, first, because I haven't really thought past that. Like, how do I want my bottom sole to look? Like, what materials? But I know the designs. Like, sometimes people like me, like, we think so far ahead about the end game, and there's nothing wrong with that, because you can be put in that writer's room somewhere, you know, bring something to, you know, you got the great ending, you know what I mean? So that's why.
Do you have a certain company that you want to work for, or is it just for yourself?
Yeah, honestly, I would love to work for Nike. I worked for Nike retail before, so that's when I actually got into trying to understand the shoe. I was in the shoe department, so you know, the bottom sole, and you know, if you over pronate, and you know, we learned this in track too. But I think I had I took more time and I took more dedication to learn more about the shoe and the ingenuity behind the shoe.
Now you mentioned track. Tell us about your track career.
Man, okay, so track career, you know, track boys. Shout out to all the track people. Shout out to all Team USA. Y'all don't get enough love. Track does not get enough love.
Facts.
It just doesn't. It just doesn't. Only the Olympic time coming that we expect so much from them. Like, they get second, we make fun of them. We're like, yo, we get more medals over here than y'all doing over there. Chill. Gymnastics, for sure, women gymnastics, but I think in swimming. But track and field they always get the most. Obviously, there's more events. But I started running track, actually. I tried it in middle school. It was okay. I always started hurdling. I always did hurdling. It was okay. I don't think I've ever had like the strong dedication for it. I just really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed like the camaraderie of having teammates. But it still gave you a little bit of individuality to do what you could do. Like, what can you bring to get to the table to get those league points, conference points, regionals, and state. You know. So then I took it real serious my sophomore year. My sophomore year was like my official first competitive year, and I ended up placing at state in the 300 hurdles. I was picked to win, but I went out the night before, hooked up with this girl at Wichita Heights, and I remember having hickeys, and my mom was all like,
he went to the street.
How you do that before?
I didn't have that dedication.
He was on the high, just being at state.
I was on that ramen.
Fucking up,
yo, I'm crying.
I was on that ramen.
And this was in high school.
This was in high school.
A rock star.
This was in high school. This was in high school. So then after that, I got really good in my junior year. I took it real serious. I think I took it serious because basketball was always my passion. I love basketball. I feel like I definitely suppressed a lot of my skills just because growing up I didn't have the confidence. Like, I was that player, and I could be real, everyone would tell you, like, in practice no one's dogging me. Like, if I had carried that over, because I was so fundamental, I was so fast, I understand the plays, I understand teamwork, you know, I had like that good positive energy. And then because I come from one of the basketball capitals, you know, Lawrence, Kansas, home of the Jayhawks, shout out to where basketball's invented, Dr. James Naismith. So I took basketball very, very serious, but my junior year we did good in basketball. I remember, like, most of the basketball team, not all, but most went out for the track team. It's like, man, I'm gonna take this serious, man. I'm gonna take this serious. So I ended up winning state and putting my whole team on my back and getting like fourth out of like all the teams that went there, because I medaled in the 110 hurdles, got second, won the 300 hurdles, second year doing it, you know, and then all the recruits came open. They just start flowing in, like schools that I never thought in a million years I would go hoop for. But I'm like, okay, I'll probably be able to go run track for, okay. So then I didn't do the clearinghouse in time, and this is before the NIL and how the system is now, where they'll get you through. This is when they were still 10 hut, you know, the NCAA or the NCAA clearinghouse. So I ended up going to Barton County Community College, which is a track conservatory, I think it is. That's what we like to call it. It's in the middle of nowhere. Tyson Gay, Veronica Campbell. They all went to Barton. But he went to Barton first for the 2 years. So it's usually where, you know, students go who are like exceeding track but not grades, and or and or they're Caribbean and they don't have their citizenship or this paperwork that's stopping them from going to run at Texas A&M, going to run at Arkansas. And I'm saying those names because most of us go to Texas A&M or that whole.
And Tyson Gay's a whole Olympian, like.
For sure. Legend.
Yeah.
Arkansas, baby, like most indoor team track championships, I think combined, I think they either first or second with USC. Like Arkansas was a good school, like early 2000s. That was like the lead of the SEC. They still got indoor, you know. But I was gonna go to Arkansas. So then after Barton, that was like one of the schools. I was KU, Arkansas, Ole Miss, and North Carolina. So I met Coach Antonio Pettigrew, my homeboy Tariq Hill, put me on, and he was like, "Yo, you need to go to ACC. Like I get it. You don't really take this serious. You still want to do good." I'm like, I don't want to go to the SC and get smoked because then I'm about to really dry, you know. I don't want to go to the Olympics every meet. So I ended up signing with Antonio. I wasn't there long enough to graduate, and then I just stopped running all in all because I went to St. John's, and then come to find out because of Title IX they get rid of their men's track program, and I'm like, this is a sign from God right here. Promise, because I was like. I love sports. It never was a dream of mine to be able to take it as a career. Never. Never. I was like, I need this to get me out of Kansas City. You know, I need this to pay for my schooling, and it did. Yeah. And just to see the world, you know, leave my backyard.
Yeah, and you went to UNC, which is North Carolina. I feel like is just a college, college. It definitely state. Period. Yeah. So, I know that was a good experience. And then you got
short experience, but I feel like Carolina has something that a lot of people don't have, and it's not just the history, but it's also the pride in the history. You know, history is one thing, but like everybody in Carolina, from the food, like the people in Raleigh, the people in Durham, like it's a real knit-tight community. I wish I would have actually, you know, fulfilled that you know, part of my life.
But it's okay because you got your graduate degree from UNLV.
Yeah, so I got my psychology degree. I have 2 undergraduates. I am credentialed to teach there in the state of Nevada. So I've been in education for a really, really long time. But yeah, it's always good to have in your back pocket. You know, it's this whole debate with millennials and Gen Z and even baby boomers and Gen X, like all the generations, like, do you really need education? My answer is always going to be yes. You may not need, you know, you can probably get that over here online now and AI and all this other stuff, but like those habits and skills and just, you know, the social part of it, social science is really important.
For sure.
Yeah, it's definitely important to, you know, have all of those type of skills, and you know, you're doing so many different things, man, and it's very dope to see the success of it.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like for real, you never know where your journey is going to be. You know what I'm saying? And with that said, let's take a break, have a word from our sponsors, 247liveculture.com.
We are back from commercial break, and we are here with Zac Carson, and he's been telling us all about his life story. He's actually modeling right now for a brand called Future Proof. We got some big names a part of this company.
Yeah, so my homeboy Marvin Williams, shout out to him. He's been a designer for a lot of major brands in Europe and America. He finally decided to do his own clothing line. You know, one of my other homeboys, who's Meet Your Friend, hit me up, was like, yo, you need to come through and shoot, you know, it'll be dope content, help me get back, you know, after COVID. I feel like a lot of us suppressed a lot of our dreams, a lot of our goals, a lot of our creativity, you know what I mean? Those our creativity needs, you know, necessities that we just need to be that creative being that we are. So I was like, you know what, I'm down. Pulled up, you know, saw the set, and it's real nice. It was bigger than what I thought it was gonna be. I'm like, oh, he got it, okay. So we did, we shot for like a good 8-9 hours. We did some video. It releases this 11/23, whatever it is, Thursday.
Oh yeah, it's right around
the corner. Yeah. 2 days. 2 days. It releases in 2 days. So it's going to be featured in a couple magazines, Blue Magazine being one, I know that. Some other outlets. So if you want to go support, you know, see your boy on the e-com.
Okay, we about to see Zac step out.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, a little bit. It's a little something.
Yes.
What would you say has been like your favorite project to date so far?
My favorite project to date. Oh man, that's tough. I worked on a couple of dope big projects. I would have to say Saweetie. I was a production assistant. I got to be a wardrobe stylist assistant on all her earlier project, her high maintenance. So this is like right when she first got signed to Max and Warner Brother Records. And I remember thinking like, dang, Warner Brother barely signs anybody.
Yeah.
But she must be. They put some money behind her and it was nice.
That's their type.
Yeah, that's their type. Yeah, that commercial brand they want to put that money on, so they seen her, as a brand, a market. And I was like, okay. Got to her music. I was like, okay, she's solid. But yeah, we had like 1 week just to do her whole first rollout, so I was a part of that team, and that was a great opportunity. I love putting that on my resume. I thought that was pretty good. But I just think my first script ever was my first project because, it kind of, I think that's when I was like, whoa, I could really do this. After I see the response when people read my first script, and usually people say, oh, your first one's not going to be your best, but I beg to differ. I think.
You never know.
You never know. Well, because I'm just saying, like, with 24/7, we do movies too, and Omar and Adonis, they started creating films, and their first script just skyrocketed. So that's why I was saying, like, it's very relatable of you saying, like, your first script. So, yeah.
It could be. Here's the thing, we're always going to have that bias, emotional attached to it, and that's fine. So I still feel like what I mean, I'm going to be very specific. When your first script is something that you put a lot into and you keep it going, and even if you start writing other scripts or working on other projects, you go back and you just, I want to change this, or let me add that, doing different scenes, adding, trying to, I don't know, play with your plot points. It may actually be your best script ever, because of that emotional attachment you have to never want to give up on it.
Right, right. So tell us about your script.
So my script is called Days of Vendetta, and it basically is an overview. It's very character driven, like the movie Crash. Each of these characters are made up of all the real people in LA, so it's not really about the LA riots, but it takes place throughout the LA riots. So you see from 1990 to like 1993, and each character I kind of gave them like their own story, their own, it's hard to pick out the main lead in this type of project, but I wanted to also add some true real life elements, like the Latasha Harlan story, that was pretty important for me to do, like the Rodney King, like actual getting real footage and incorporating into my script, but also most of my main characters, they're characters we haven't talked about in the 90s movies. The 90s movies, late 80s, early 90s with the Hughes brothers, Spike Lee, John Singleton. It was such a huge time, especially in places like New York and LA specifically, but I still feel like there were so many stories that we did not. I mean, that's fair to say with any genre time period, but I really, I don't want to go too much into my characters, some of them are a little controversial, but I definitely want to tackle things that I feel like nowadays we still see, but we still haven't touched up on that. But imagine it being in the early 90s, through all those days of blood in, blood out, eye for eye, all the vendetta days, Bloods and Crips, and so I don't know if I can say it.
Is there a filmmaker or a writer that you like really study or watch, to up your game?
Oh man, these questions, they're so hard because there's so many, and then sometimes I get so worried that I'm just being honest. I'm like, if I don't shout out someone who's black, black person, they're gonna get me. They're gonna be like, wait.
They're gonna be like cancel culture.
No, but we are the best. We are the best. We just don't get that. Listen, but the scripts that I had, that was the resources that I had, because you can't always get to those, especially at a young age. When I started reading my first script, it was 2011, and it was American Beauty. Okay, I loved American Beauty. I thought it was like, he's also the same creator of True Blood. So I fell in love with that movie at a young age. I was like, wow, like modern day suburbia is really fucked up. You know what I mean? But we were led to believe otherwise, and I think that movie just changed our whole perspective on how we saw the White House with the red door and the red roses and picket fence, you know what I mean? So I really fell in love with that movie. But I also have to shout out Eric Roth, he's one of my favorite screenwriters, UCLA grad. I love Eric Roth because he's one of the best, if not some people say the best, at adapting. So he did like Forrest Gump, and he did a lot of Steven Spielberg movies.
Because Forrest Gump, that movie was
Benjamin
a
Button,
classic. Benjamin
Button.
Yeah.
He takes all these, based upon stories, but the way he puts it on script, you just would have never thought it was a book. Because usually it's the opposite. We're usually like, nah, the book was better.
Yeah.
We find some way just to, downplay the movie. Like, no, the book was way better. Well, obviously you could put more. They don't know.
Right.
1 minute is like $100,000. I'm sure that went up, rule of thumb, but it's expensive,
And I feel like even when people like remake movies, they're always like, oh, the original was better. Like the new one can never be better.
Right.
Never.
We have to just learn to find like our appreciation for what they're trying to do.
Yeah, seriously, because I saw like the new Wonka movies getting ready to come out, and I'm like, usually I'm like, another one.
I mean, how
but
many
also,
do we really need though? Do you really need to make the Willy Wonka movie? Like,
do we? But I mean,
they didn't need to make it the first time.
I mean, the original was like very like classic. But I mean, the new lead. Tom, is it Tommy or Timmy?
Tim.
Tim, clink. Yeah, you capping that.
He's like the new Johnny Depp. He's also supposedly going to do Edward Scissorhands. He's the new Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
So Tim Burton.
I mean, I will say what he did on Saturday Night Live was definitely a hit.
Yeah.
I was definitely tapped in for sure. But when I saw him, I was like, it might be really good because he seems like a very captivating actor. So
yeah, it's all about the script. I think we just have to wait to see how the story, starts and unfolds and go from there because the second one wasn't the best. Shout out to Johnny Depp.
I rock with Johnny Depp too, but you know what I'm saying? Just that compared to the classic, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Yeah, I think with the villain kids or whatever, like the antagonists, I think it really could have been done with. I think they forced it down our throat because they want to compete with these other Regina George type characters of the past.
I need to tap into I didn't see that one, so I'm gonna watch it.
And my fault, Alan Ball is his name, American Beauty. I need to shout him out because that was such a beautiful script. I'm like, now that I'm on the mic and I get a little nervous, like I get these brain fogs and stuff.
No, you're good. You're good. So, go ahead.
What inspiration would you give to other aspiring artists that are trying to chase, the entertainment industry like yourself?
The biggest is just do it. Don't let society don't let them be a factor. Don't let society be what we call a confounding variable. They should do what you want to do. Don't compare yourself. I actually don't even want to use don'ts and negative words. Be proactive. Take chances. Never give up, never give in. And I say that because I think most of us, it's not that a matter of not only money, and the resources that we need to produce the art that we want to make, that we feel like is worthy of us, because it's a balance. But I also feel like the biggest part is the economic, the economy and the economic aspect of having to pay your bills, having to live the status quo life of a 9 to 5 or whatever timing you give in order to be placed in some tax bracket, that really doesn't matter to you. It matters to the government official or it matters to the state officials. But at the end of the day, it's like, we came in for art. Like, why does that matter? Right. I'm not saying I'm a socialist by any means. I want to throw that out there. But I definitely feel like, if we made the city more affordable, we know that it's the city of dreams, it's never going to change. Shout out to Omar, but it's never going to change.
Let's normalize making LA affordable.
Please.
Because what is really going on? I understand, dreams come true here, but dang.
Rent control. Well, when we start with rent control.
Yes, definitely.
Rent control.
Yeah, it's crazy living in LA. Other places, it's like, sometimes it's either half of the rent there, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know people that's paying less than $1,000 for some straight stuff, Other places, so it's crazy, And then you try to be creative and live your dreams and show you people you're doing it and whatnot. It's a journey for sure.
It is.
It definitely is a balancing act. That I feel like the only way to be successful is to keep trying, keep failing, and keep trying again, then you succeed. So it's all about that. Sticking to course.
Yeah, and that's all you can do is stick to course. So tell everybody how they can stick to Zac Carson's course.
Okay, as you can stick to my course as far as my social media platforms. Yes, you can follow me on Moonchild Zac on Instagram. I do not have Twitter. I do not have TikTok. I'm an Instagram guy, Instagram Moonchild Zac, Zac Z-A-C. Also, you can support me by going online to Supreme Sneakerhead and voting for me up until December 28th. You can also support me by going to Future Proof this Thursday as soon as they launch, and go ahead and, you know, shop for my boy. You know, click, like, subscribe.
Tap in.
Tap in.
Hey, tap in. You heard it from the man himself. You know what I'm saying? Zac Carson, the one and only, coming through for BoomBox Weekly. You already know what time it is. Shit, that's another episode. I'm Omar Cook.
I'm Gentel Sharrie.
And I'm Zac Carson. Appreciate y'all.
You're listening to BoomBox Weekly.